What if the scariest version of your life isn't failure, but sameness? What if your future doesn't collapse with some dramatic fall? It just slowly fades into repetition, into comfort, into days that all feel the same. That's the cost no one warns you about. Not falling behind, not burning out, just quietly becoming someone you never meant to be. Because you chose what was easy instead of what was next. See, the danger of staying the same is that it doesn't hurt right away. It's slow, quiet. It feels like rest, like safety. You tell yourself you're just taking a break, just waiting for the right moment, just figuring things out. But while you're rationalizing in circles, time isn't pausing with you. It's moving, quietly, consistently. And one day, you look up and realize a year passed, and you haven't. There's a version of you that only exists on the other side of change. Not self-help, not surface tweaks. Real, inconvenient, uncomfortable change. And the longer you avoid it, the harder it becomes to remember why you wanted more in the first place. That's the real tragedy. Not missing the goal, but forgetting you ever had one. Numbing yourself with routine, shrinking your dreams to match your environment, and calling it peace when it's really just quiet regret. What makes this dangerous is how normal it feels. You wake up, do your job, go through the motions. No chaos, no fire, no hunger. Just a growing heaviness you can't explain. The kind that creeps in when your soul starts wondering if this is all it's ever going to be. That's the cost. Not failure, emptiness. The kind that success can't fix. The kind that no one else notices. But you carry it everywhere. And the worst part? You get good at hiding it, at performing normal, at pretending this version of you is fine, even though deep down, you can feel yourself fading. Not dramatically, just gradually. Every day you choose comfort over confrontation, familiarity over growth, safety over becoming. You give up a piece of the life that was waiting for you. Not taken, not denied, abandoned. Because comfort doesn't warn you. It just waits. It waits until you're so deep inside your patterns that the idea of changing feels like betrayal. And by then, you're not just surviving. You're stuck. Breathing, but not alive. So if something in you feels restless, if there's a voice you've been trying to ignore, this is it. This is the reminder. There is a cost to staying the same. And if you don't feel it yet, you will. Not with pain, not with drama, just with time. And time always collects. There's a moment that creeps in when you've been sitting still too long. A kind of emotional claustrophobia. On the outside, nothing's wrong. You're doing everything right. You show up, smile, get through the day. But internally, something starts to press against your chest. You can't name it. You can't explain it. But it's there. The weight of everything that could have been if you had just moved. That's when you start to realize something isn't right. Not because anything is falling apart, but because nothing is happening at all. No evolution, no excitement, just repetition. You wake up, and the days feel familiar. Not because they're good, but because they're identical. You've been telling yourself you're maintaining, but the truth is, you're avoiding. Avoiding the risk of change, avoiding the discomfort of uncertainty, avoiding the truth that you've stopped choosing growth and started choosing delay. You tell yourself you're not ready, but when will you be? You're waiting for clarity, but clarity comes from motion. You want momentum, but you won't take the first step. You want the fire back, but you're scared of the burn that might come with it. And the irony is, the pain you're trying to avoid is already here. It just shows up as apathy instead of agony. Quiet suffering, disguised as stability. This is the turning point most people never reach because they numb it before it matures. They distract themselves, they scroll, they eat, they binge. They surround themselves with people who normalize mediocrity and call it adulthood. And slowly, the voice that once said, "We could be more," gets buried beneath layers of survival. But some people hear it. Some people get quiet enough to listen. And when you do, everything shifts. Not all at once. Not with a grand revelation, but with a simple, brutal truth. If I keep living like this, I already know how it ends. And you do. You've seen it. Maybe in someone older who gave up too early. Maybe in a version of yourself from a year ago. It's not dramatic. It's not tragic. It's just a quiet fading. The kind that looks like success on paper, but feels like death on the inside. That's when something snaps. When the stillness becomes unbearable. When the risk of changing finally feels smaller than the cost of staying the same. When you realize you're not afraid of falling. You're afraid of waking up a decade from now and realizing you never jumped. That's where it starts. The return, the climb, the refusal to live one more day as a watered-down version of yourself. Not because it's easy, not because it's safe, but because the alternative, staying the same, is something you finally feel down to your bones. And once you feel it, you can't unfeel it. No alarms go off when you decide to change your life. No spotlights. No moment where everything suddenly feels different. The world doesn't stop to congratulate you. That's what makes it so easy to delay. No one notices the day you stop growing, and no one will rescue you when you decide to start again. It has to come from you, not from motivation, not from pressure, from honesty. There comes a point where you have to stop asking what if and start saying even if. Even if I fail. Even if I lose people. Even if I don't have it all figured out. Because the truth is, you've already felt what staying the same will give you. And it's not enough. You've already lived the version of life that keeps the peace at the cost of your purpose. You've already tried postponing the leap. And it's left you stuck in a life that doesn't challenge you, doesn't grow you, and doesn't feel like you. So no, the breakout doesn't start with a plan. It starts with a decision, a real one. Quiet, maybe, small, but rooted in something solid. The understanding that the price of comfort is far higher than the price of change. Because comfort costs time, and time is the one thing you can't make more of. You either use it to become who you were meant to be, or you spend it decorating the cage you're afraid to leave. Movement isn't always loud. Sometimes it's deleting the app, canceling the plan, waking up earlier, saying no, letting go of people who keep you tame, saying yes to things that scare you, saying yes to you. Every step away from who you're not brings you closer to who you've been trying to become. And what's wild is, once you finally move, you wonder why you waited so long. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Every step, every misstep, every lesson, every breath feels like something you own again. And even when it's hard, it's real. And you've been craving real for years. There's a cost to staying the same. And now you know what it is. But there's also a cost to becoming. It will require more of you than you've ever given. It will break you open, test your discipline, demand your attention. But it will be worth it. Because this time, your life won't be built on fear. It will be built on choice. So move, not because it's the right time. It never will be. Not because you have every answer. You don't need them. Move because you've waited long enough. Because you've felt the cost. And because something in you is still alive enough to change everything. And once you start, really start, you'll realize you were never stuck. You were just still.